All right, so all the doom and gloom predictions about AI replacing software developers just hit a major roadblock. A groundbreaking new study from economists at the University of Chicago and University of Copenhagen examined the impact of AI across 11 occupations, including software developers, and found virtually zero negative effects on jobs or wages. Meanwhile, AI coding tools are creating serious security risks, with a recent study showing that 440,000 out of 76,000 AI-generated code dependencies were completely hallucinated. So after a long time in software development, I can tell you that these findings confirm that I've been saying all along. AI isn't replacing developers, it's creating an entirely new landscape where human expertise is more valuable than ever. So let's dive into these reports today. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Hack, we train software developers in our licensed coding bootcamps and build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, so if you've been worried about AI replacing software developers, this video is going to completely change your perspective. While tech media has been pushing panic about job loss, real-world data is telling a completely different story. I'm also going to show you why AI's limitations, particularly its security issues, are actually creating more demand for skilled human developers. So let's dive into it here. So let's take a look over at this report here, and I want to start off with this report. So generative AI is not replacing or hurting wages at all, economists claim. So when we look at the outcomes, it really has not moved the needle. So instead of depressing wages or taking jobs, generative AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini have almost no significant wage or labor impact so far. So in a working paper released this month, they said that they were covering 25,000 workers and 7,000 workplaces, right, in 2023 and 2024. Many of these occupations have been described as being vulnerable to AI: accountants, customer support, and of course, software development, right? So the software development is the one we're talking about here mostly today, but all of these, right? Now, as they studied this, they said AI chatbots have no significant impacts on earnings or recorded hours in any occupation. They went on to say that the adoption of these chatbots has been remarkably fast. So people jumped into using them really quick. So they did find that it does save time for about 64 to 90% of users. So it does save time. But how much time? AI chatbots have created new job tasks for 8.4% of workers, including some who do not use the tool themselves. So in other words, AI is creating a new workplace that cancels out some of the potential time savings from using AI in the first place. One very stark example that's close to home for me is there are a lot of teachers who now say they're spending time trying to detect whether students are using ChatGPT to cheat on their homework. Thought that was interesting from a teacher. But he says these new job tasks create new demands for workers, which may boost their wages if they're more high value added tasks, right? So he does say that users report average saving times of 2.8% of work hours. Now, I'd probably give it higher than that. That feels a little low to me, but that's what his report says here. That's a bit more than 1 hour per 40-hour week, okay? So I've found it to be more, he also notes that other findings that he has from this one here shows that it was 15%, that it's increasing 15%. So let's even get at the 15%. That would mean that out of a 10-person team, AI supposedly is replacing 1 out of these 15. Now, that's about what we're seeing even from the job market right now, but I think there's other things at work here. So I think there's two key takeaways why the real economic gains are lower than the cited studies. He says, first, most tasks do not fall into a category where ChatGPT can just automate everything. Surprise. And second, we're in the middle phase where employers are still waking up to the new reality, and we're trying to figure out how to best utilize these tools, right? And so I agree with that. Like I've been saying all along here on the channel, is that I think that we should be using AI. So I do think we should be using it, but it says that still, despite these high adoption rates of AI tools, 64 to 90%, I found also almost no significant wage or labor impact. Now, I've witnessed numerous different revolutionary technologies that were supposed to eliminate developer jobs, from low-code platform to outsourcing to automated code generators, but each time these technologies actually increase the demand for skilled developers who could harness and integrate these new capabilities. So the study confirms what experienced developers already know, is that the tools change, but the core value of human problem solve and creative thinking still remains with the humans. Now, the study's most shocking find is that AI tools may have saved about 2.8 hours. Now, I think that's a little higher, and I think the 15% that the other study that he was citing is probably closer to about what I would guess is the 10 to 15% savings. I was recently talking with a developer who's been working for about 3 years in the field, so he can pretty much remember before a lot of these developer tools were starting or being used, and then has started using Cursor on their job. And in the process, he said that he's not strong on front-end development, and Cursor did a lot of his front-end development, but I asked him about how much of it was accurate, and he said about 50%. That's about what I'd give it to. But he said it would lay out the files for him, and it saved him a lot of time that way. Okay, that's what I'm agreeing with. I think AI is a very effective tool, and I've seen this firsthand. Teams that use AI tools effectively are more productive, but not revolutionary enough to start reducing headcount. So the reality is that most real-world development tasks involve complex context of integrating multiple systems, so that and that's where it requires a human to be able to do this. So there's also another study here that I wanted to cite, because I think this is one of the other concerns, and one of the ones that I've really seen the most here, is that what we're seeing is that AI generated code could be a disaster for software supply chain, and it's not because it's replacing developers. LM produced code could make us much more vulnerable to supply chain attacks. So AI-generated computer code is rife with references to non-existent third-party libraries, creating a golden opportunity for supply chain attacks that poison legitimate programs with malicious packages that can steal data, plant backdoors, and carry other nefarious actions. So this is the numbers here. The study, which used 16 of the most widely used large language models to generate 576,000, right, that's a big number, found that 440,000 of these, over 2/3 of them, of the package dependencies they contained were hallucinated, meaning they were non-existent. This is Ars Technica here, folks. And it goes on to tell you how it broke down this study. But let's figure this. Let's go a little more. Open source models hallucinated the most, with 21% of the dependencies linking to non-existing libraries. Now, so this is, a great way to then get into a place where you can poison these packages, put them out there, and then know that OpenAI will see them. And then as it sees them, it's going to start to suggest them into the code tools. And as it does that, then you're going to start getting them to use them. So if a user trusts the LM output and installs the package without carefully verifying it, what everybody's suggesting that we do here, right? The attacker's payload hidden in the malicious code could be executed in the user system. So he talks about how he did this, right? So they ran 30 tests, 16 in Python, 14 JavaScript, generated 19,000 code samples, 576. And again, they did this across, 30 tests across the 16 tools. So like 2 tests per tool. Of the 2.3 million package references contained in those, 449 or 19% pointed to packages that did not exist. So about 20% of the packages didn't even exist. And that's about what I've run into, right? And I've really found that that's one of the biggest problems here. And so it doesn't even talk about Code Llama or DeepSeek. We're nearly 22%. And so, I mean, you can continue on this article, and I'll put the article in the link down below. But my point to this is that this creates what security calls a slop squatting, where attackers register these non-existent package names and then inject malicious code. So even the best commercial AI coding tools like ChatGPT-4 hallucinated dependencies at a rate of almost 20%. That's crazy high. Now, in my 25 years of development, I've learned that security issues like this can cause catastrophic business damage when they make it into production. You would never let a junior developer come onto your team, write a bunch of code, and ship it straight to production. And yet that's what people are saying is going to happen with AI. So I don't understand how they're saying this is going to reduce software development headcount. This code has got to be verified by a human. Companies that rush to replace human developers with AI are going to scramble to hire security experts who can manage these new risks. Now, the study found that companies actively encouraging AI adoption saw better results than those who were individual developers using tools on their own. So this also mirrors my experience. AI tools work best when integrated into well-designed development processes rather than isolated productivity hacks. So, i.e. vibe coding, right? I can tell you that technology always works best when it enhances human capabilities rather than trying to replace them. The study also found that creating a divide line in the industry, not between humans and AI, but between developers who know how to effectively partner with AI and those who don't. Now, if your company has systems that aren't connected, make sure you reach out to us, because here at Startup Hack, our specialty is connecting systems to help your company work like a well-oiled machine. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer and we can help you out. And also, one of the best compliments you can give me is to leave a comment down below in the code. So make sure that you comment and like and subscribe, because I try to bring you a lot of great valuable content here. So rather than eliminating jobs, AI tools are creating intense demand for developers with new skills, particularly with prompt engineering and those who understand AI and how to integrate it into business solutions. I'm seeing development teams restructure around AI capabilities with more emphasis on architecture, testing, and security rather than just raw code production, i.e. code monkey, right? My clients are increasingly asking for developers who understand both traditional programming and AI capabilities. They want these to be built into their systems. So this mirrors previous technology transitions I've experienced. Each wave of automation creates more jobs focused on higher level concerns. The bottom line is AI isn't replacing developers' jobs. It's transforming them and creating entirely new career paths for those willing to adapt. I tell my developers all the time, AI won't replace your job, but a developer knows how to use it might. The hallucination dependency crisis reveals a major new challenge in software development. AI introduces security vulnerabilities in the software supply chain. So according to recent research, 43% of hallucinated packages names were consistently repeated, making them prime targets for attackers to register and exploit. So, and I think this is a new poisoning that's happening among some of these LLMs, is that we see this repeat of this package that either doesn't exist, and then what does that do? It opens up for hackers to be able to go put that package into the package libraries, and to be able to then have the code be able to suddenly start calling it from production if you haven't checked it, right? So this is going to create an entirely new specialties within software development focused on AI security. Now, these studies' findings also directly contradict the apocalyptic prediction about AI causing mass developer unemployment. I think what we're seeing is we're actually seeing the effects of the economy. In 2020, 2021, 2022, there was so much money pumped into the economy that these companies ran up and overstaffed so high on software developers that it was one of the largest major runs on software development we've seen in 25 years. What's obviously going to happen now over the next 2 years, we're going to feel the impact of that as people get voted off the island. And that's going to be painful, right? Like that's going to impact the economy. And so the approximate 10% drop that we've seen in software development jobs recently, over the last 2 years is because of this vote off the island, because of the overstaff of the 3 years before. The other part of this is interest rates are high. While interest rates are high, money is expensive. When money is expensive, development is expensive. Development's always expensive, whether money's expensive or not. But while money is expensive, then companies can't afford to invest into R&D, which is where most software development happens. So we're going to see this impact, and everybody's blaming AI, but the reality of the matter is it's the economic impacts that are having far more impact on software development jobs than AI is. And so I think what we're really going to see is what these studies show is that AI adoption rates are going to vary significantly across different professional roles. But as you see this, you're going to see that enthusiastically trying new AI tools while becoming more, it's going to make you more valuable, not less valuable. So I've watched tool adoption follow a predictable curve. There's initial hype, followed by disillusionment, then eventual productive integration. Right. And that's what we're going to see. We're seeing this point where people are starting to use the tools to get it implemented, but we're going to see some more drop before we get to there. So the next phase, we'll see AI tools becoming standard parts of development workflows, not any different than Visual Studio or VS Code has become standard for software developers. This pattern has been repeated with every major development paradigm shift that I've witnessed throughout my career. So one of the big things that I would tell you is that I've consistently found that technology amplifies human capabilities, but it doesn't replace it. AI tools are becoming essential, and they're becoming an essential extension of developer capabilities. And it's similar to how source control and IDEs transferred development in early days. I can't imagine being a software developer today without Git, right? This is how much I think 10 years from now we will become reliant on AI. I think we will, but you still have to understand it because it won't replace you. So I see developer jobs evolving rather than disappearing, with AI handling routine tasks so humans can focus on the creative problem solving, integration, security, and system design. Now, again, if your company has systems that aren't connected, or you're looking to build some AI agents into your daily workflow, check us out, because here at startuphack.com/Spencer, we'd love to help you out. So check us out. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love to have a great conversation. I answer all the comments personally, so leave a comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers. We're going to make a big announcement on that this week. We also love to build custom software solutions for companies. So if we can help your company reach out, big or small, we take on a lot of different sizes, and we're excited to help you here, and here's some great information.
Hi, my name is Spencer Thomason, and I'm a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years in software development, development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology teams and products. So what is a fractional CTO? This is where you can contract someone like myself to come into your organization and get the benefits of a seasoned CTO without having to employ me full time. In today's fast-paced world, efficiency, security, and product scaling aren't just goals, they're necessities. My passion is building impactful products and enhancing organizational efficiencies through technology. From startups to small businesses, my approach leverages lean methodologies to not just meet but exceed your strategic goals. Whether it's through executive mentoring, cloud system architecture, or launching a minimum viable product swiftly, my aim is to make a significant impact right from the start. Recognized in the Arizona startup ecosystem, my journey has been about creating value and fostering innovation. I have led technology for companies like GoDaddy, SRP, and Wells Fargo and turned challenges into milestones. I've taken this learning and launched 7 of my own brands, and now I want to help you. So if you're looking for a fractional CTO who brings a wealth of experience, strategic vision, and a proven track record, let's connect. Together we can build technology that not only drives your business forward, but also makes a difference. Technology leadership redefined to fit your needs. So reach out today.